Kerry Chow here with Matt Mitrione at UFC 175. His competitor, the guy he was about to fight, Stefan Struve, had to withdraw after suffering non-life-threatening faint incident. But when you heard the news, Matt, what went through your mind?
Well, the first thing was I'm so happy it didn't happen out there in the cage. I think we as a sport really dodged a bullet here. With two athletes, especially heavyweights, that are primed and ready to go, throwing heavy leather, or getting caught in submissions or whatever else is going to happen, that could have turned out really, really different. So it's highly unfortunate, and obviously I want to perform. I'm primed and ready, and so did Struve. But like I said, as a sport, we really dodged a bullet here.
Yeah, you mentioned your first reaction. It was you're thankful that it didn't happen in the ring. But when you first heard the news, how'd you react?
It was we were just starting to warm up, and Joe Silva comes in and looks pretty serious, and he says, hey, we got to talk about something. I come over to a corner, and he says the fight's been canceled, and I obviously start questioning him about it, like what? Like you're just stop playing around, And then Dan and Lorenzo come in and say the same thing. So my first question was, okay, can I please go talk to Struve? I want to check on him, make sure he's all right. So I went in, I talked to Struve, and he was still in the shower stall. He was in a chair in the shower stall, and they kind of run through what happened a little bit. And my coach is Dutch. Henry Hooft is Dutch, and Struve is Dutch, and his coaches are Dutch. So we kind of all talked a little bit, and he was crying. He was really apologetic, and it's like we were so ready to get down, but it's unfortunate, but it turned out as this situation, it turned out as well as it possibly could have.
Absolutely, and as we know, Struve was set to make his comeback for the first time since breaking his jaw from suffering heart issues. Talk to me about that, some of that camaraderie between you fighters, because even though you guys were about to battle, you can tell clearly you guys cared for each other.
For sure, there's a tremendous amount of mutual respect, and as soon as we get down, as soon as we fight, we start drinking beers as soon as we're done. I mean, there's rarely any legitimate animosity between us, and we all understand we're brothers in iron. Like we get down and it's what we do for a paycheck. So like same thing as like if you're competing with another guy for a job and you guys are good friends, well, that's what's going to happen. Sooner or later, you guys are going to bump heads. It just happens.
And as you mentioned, you're set to fight. When are you going to schedule your next fight? Are you willing to wait for Stefan to see how his condition improves, or what's your next move?
No, I'm not going to wait for Stefan. I have no idea what's going on with him. We already talked to the UFC, the bosses, and so we covered the issues financially, what's going to happen with this, and I'm going to be on top of the list. So anybody falls out, I'm going to be able to jump in and take their spot.